My name is Estella. I'm here to testify on how God healed my brother from a stage 4 cancer. The journey took most of the year 2023. My brother kept falling ill. He would go to the hospital. They were treating him for H. pylori. They were treating him for gastritis. Hospital visit after hospital visit. He kept falling ill. He kept losing weight. He had blood in his stool. He had very frequent toilet visits. He couldn't sit. He was in so much discomfort, but the doctors didn't know what the problem was. They kept misdiagnosing him and treating him for the wrong thing. When the CT scan was done, they found a tumor in his rectum, and so we had to take the CT scan results to a gastroenterologist to interpret the results, and the gastroenterologist said there was a tumor in his rectum. He said it looked a lot like cancer, but they need further tests, to conduct further tests, to confirm. So that was in November of 2023. So they carried out the test, and in January of 2024, it was confirmed that it was cancer. We were devastated, but I was not afraid because I'd been on the altar and I heard several testimonies of people who had been healed from cancer, and I just told him, you need to join the altar. So he joined the altar then, and we started praying. By God's grace, despite immigration challenges, he was able to come over to the UK 31st of March 2024. However, in May of 2024, he was diagnosed again in the UK of cancer of the rectum. Mind you, in Cameroon, they are not giving us what the stage of the cancer was, but here in the UK, they gave us that. They told us it was a stage 4 cancer, which was spreading, which were almost touching his seminal vesicles. And they said because it was almost touching his seminal vesicle, it could affect his fertility. So they advised putting his sperm in a sperm bank prior to commencing treatment. Mind you, my brother had just turned 30, and the doctor said, this is a sickness which affects older people. He shouldn't be suffering from an illness like that. And they also said it wasn't genetic, because initially in Cameroon they thought it was genetic, but it wasn't genetic. So the doctor said their plan was have an initial surgery to put a stoma bag. And mind you, I'd been on the altar since February of 2022, and I might be wrong, but I'd never heard Pastor Jerry mention cancer of the rectum. But as soon as my brother got the diagnosis, Pastor Jerry kept mentioning cancer of the rectum reverse, cancer of the rectum reverse, cancer of the rectum, cancer of the rectum, cancer of the rectum. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. At the devil is a liar. I announce, let it be reversed. So through all of what we were going through, I knew that God was coming through for us. The word from the altar kept encouraging us, kept lifting our spirit. We knew that God was seeing us. We went in to see the oncologist, and she said, she's happy with the results. The tumor had already shrunk by over 80%. That can only be the hand of God. The oncologist also mentioned his cancer marker had gone down from 16 to 1. That was another miracle. How God did it, I don't know. God granted him rest. He could now sleep through the night. He wasn't going to the toilet so frequently. It was just a relief to see him get better, and this could only be the hand of God. And mind you, when the doctors, in his initial plan, said he was going to have a pelvic exenteration, that was the final plan. At the time, I didn't know what a pelvic exenteration was, but in the final meeting we had with the oncologist, that's when she explained to us what it was. That they would take out his seminal vesicle, they would take out his urethra, they would take out his bladder, they would take out his prostate, they would take out his rectum. I was like, doctor, please hold on. Do you mean that they would take these organs out and put them back? She said, no, they would take them out permanently. And I said, if you take them out permanently, what does that mean? That means he can't have kids. He will have a permanent catheter to take out urine. He will have a permanent stomach. I'm like, God forbid, I cancel that report. My brother is 30 years old. I reversed that report and I cancel it. It's not your portion. We are on the altar. God is watching us, and he will come through out of this. None of this is going to happen. So finally, I think it was about after 10 weeks, they now conducted further test scans and all of that. The doctor said, with what the results they are saying, he will not need to have a pelvic exenteration. Oh my goodness. That was such a relief. I can't explain, what that did to me, because I couldn't see my brother going through all of that, but God came through for us. God made sure that negative report did not come to pass. And I mentioned, when they conducted the surgery, they took out 22 lymph nodes, and none of them was cancerous. If that is not the hand of God, I don't know what is. After the surgery, when he recovered 2 months later, they had to conduct tests, and that was in June 2025. And after the scans and everything, the endoscopy results showed that there was no cancer found in the rectum, and he said there was no need for him to have any post-op chemotherapy. because they had been contemplating that whether you have chemotherapy after post-op. But God reversed it. They said, you are not having any chemotherapy and you have been discharged from oncology. The report said there is no cancer seen in your, there was no cancer found, and he was discharged from oncology. I'm just so grateful to God, the fact that God healed him from a stage 4 cancer. Stage 4 cancer is terminal, but God came through for us. And to me, most importantly, God brought us closer to him. If the devil knew that this was going to bring you closer to God, perhaps he would not have afflicted you. I've seen my brother grow in his walk with God. It has even shown me God in so many ways. Personally, it was a testimony of negativity not repeating itself. My mom died in 2003 from a protracted illness. The doctors couldn't find out what was wrong with her, and she passed away. My dad passed away in 2017 till about Easter time. So it was like a negative pattern. And my dad died of leukemia. He was in the US for treatment, and treatment didn't work. And he came back to Cameroon and he died. Back then I was still in Cameroon, and my father died in my care. And this is the third thing. My brother, it was like a cycle repeating itself. And it looks like the devil was about to strike again. But God did not let this negative pattern continue. God did not let my brother to die in my hands, to die in my care. And I'm so thankful to God that he has broken the pattern, and he gave me the word that affliction will not arise a second time. And I'm so thankful to God for this altar that we come to, and it encourages us. We hear the word of God, we hear testimonies that boost our faith. And I just want to say thank you, Pastor Jerry, for this platform that brings us together, to pray and intercede for each other. Thank you for your work of love. You need to really love what you're doing, to do what you're doing, and have a burden for the people. And I'm so thankful to God that you've made yourself malleable for God to use you. What God cannot do does not exist.